Hi guys, this is Stephanie again, and coming to you with some more coaching tips. So I'm gonna give a couple of people some time to come on and just give people some time to come on. We got one person already. It's a good start. Good start. I'm just tagging some people, y'all. That's what I'm doing. All right. So, just a brief review over the last couple of weeks, and I'm not going to keep you guys too long. A brief review for the last couple of weeks. We talked about creating a playbook behind soul wounds or trauma when people traumatize each other through words. Then we talked about forgiveness, what forgiveness is not. We talked about forgetting. Like, forgetting is not always the best option because sometimes that means you're being passive in a relationship. So today, and I think you guys, and I know a lot of people are going to watch this after, but I truly believe you're going to be excited, or you're really going to like what I'm going to talk about today. So it has to do with moving from a traumatizing relationship to beginning to soul heal, or to be in a healthy relationship. Like, how do you know the type of person you are in a relationship? So what I want to talk about is secure relationships. So we talked about really dysfunctional relationships, and the thing, not necessarily dysfunctional, I take that back. The things that can occur in a relationship that can wound you, and the process it takes to forgiveness. That's what we talked about last week. This week, what I actually want to talk about is secure relationships. Like, how do you know you're in a secure relationship? Or if you're the type of person that is secure in your relationship, how do you know that? So I heard a sermon a couple of weeks ago about prognosis and diagnosis, right? And I thought it was very funny. And that's not what we're going to be doing today, because that takes a clinical setting. But I thought it was kind of, I thought it was kind of brilliant, like how this particular preacher connected prognosis, diagnosis with the word. So I'm kind of geeky like that. I thought that was kind of cool. So today we talked about in regards to a diagnosis, right? So I'm not necessarily, hey Troy, that's my buddy, y'all. That is my buddy right there. I was talking about you yesterday. Troy. Like how you always have me just like crying, laughing. So prognosis, and I'm in regards to this, I'm doing it in a comical way. Okay, serious but comical. Because normally, not normally, always you have to be in a clinical setting or a medical setting to get a diagnosis and a prognosis. And we're not in that setting. So I'm using the words lightly in a comical way, right? So in previous times that I have did sessions, you may say, like, what is my diagnosis? Your diagnosis may be unforgiveness, right? Or your diagnosis may be anger. So prognosis, and thinking about myself when I go to the doctor and I ask the doctor, I'm like, okay, so I understand my diagnosis. What's my prognosis? Where do we go from here? So prognosis actually has to do, when I speak of it, I'm talking about the process to recovery, recovering from a bad relationship, recovering from for hurt and pain. And how do I get on the track to a secure relationship? So this is going to help you. I was excited about it, but that don't necessarily mean you are going to be. So let's get started. Diagnosis. So it may be you're angry about something, or you're struggling with unforgiveness. Prognosis is the process to change. Like, what course do I take to get to be this secure person? How can I get there? That's a prognosis. And prognosis normally leads to, in most cases, some cases, it leads to a sense of hope. Like, where do I go from here? So, the secure relationship. And this is where all of us would love to be. So, this has to do with a relationship that you're in. It could be, with a partner, your husband, your wife, your partner, a parental relationship. It could be a relationship with your best friend, on the job. It's just a life relationship. So the secure relationship, the person who's secure in their relationship, and this can kind of be like a little test for you. The person who is secure in their relationship is a person that says, I'm worthy of love. And this could be from your partner, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, a best friend, because some people just don't trust people, in a social relationship. It says that I'm capable of getting love. I am capable of getting love. The secure relationship says others are willing to love me and I'm willing to love them. This is my favorite part, beliefs of the secure person. The secure person allows themselves to experience a whole range of emotions. Like last Saturday, because I said we'll be doing this every Saturday. Last week we talked about anger and the role, and we're going to touch on that some more today. How anger plays a role to healing. And when, because everybody is angry, but it depends on what you do with that anger. Do you allow that anger to manifest into aggression? That's what we talked about last week. So, look at this. Okay, so the secure person allows themselves to feel a range of emotions. And I'm going to tell y'all how good God is. I was listening to someone this morning, and they were saying basically the same thing that I'm saying right now. So, the secure person allows themselves to experience a range of emotions from joy to depression. You allow yourself to process through that. Or from confusion to peace. The secure person allows himself to feel anger, anxiety, guilt, and sadness. The difference between a secure person in a relationship, the secure person in a relationship and an insecure person is how they manage their emotions. Because the secure person, like I said, they allow themselves to experience a range of emotions. And then you self-soothe. You bring yourself back down to reality. And that word's going to come up again too. So how they deal with these problems or how they deal with conflict is the difference between the secure person and the insecure person. The secure person is confident about who they are. I love this part. They're not pressured into trying to impress people. They're just them. Their motto is, hey, it is what it is. This is what you get. That's the secure person. They don't try to impress. Another characteristic about the secure person is, and I'm talking about in a relationship, the secure person don't try to manipulate or try to coerce the other person into believing or feeling what they feel. this is a good lesson for young people. So if you have a young person in your life, share this with them. The secure person just be themselves. They don't know how to be any other way. I heard someone say this saying, to know me is to love me. That's the secure person. The secure person do not garner self-worth. They don't look to their partner. They don't look to their children. They don't look to the people on the job for self-worth. They already have that in place. The secure, and these are characteristics that are instilled in them since childhood. I'm gonna tell you, if you know you have a secure child. Your secure child, and this is what I love about today's generation of young people. They're going to speak their mind, not disrespectfully, but if they don't agree with something, they're going to say, okay, let's talk about this. Let's see what we could come up with. Tell me why you feel that. This is the secure person. The secure person drives themselves. They don't need, now it's good that you're in their corner, but trust and believe the secure person don't need that. They are self-motivated. They set goals, they accomplish them. They are confident in themselves, not arrogant, but they're confident in themselves that they're going to accomplish what they set out to accomplish. So let me share with you this about drive and the secure relationship. You're in a secure relationship. Your drive is not necessarily dependent upon the other person. If you want to talk, you want to talk to that person. If you don't want to talk, it's not dependent on what you did. The dangers of being with someone that's in an insecure relationship or connecting with someone that's insecure about themselves is unknowingly you are a part of their manipulative process. You become a part of their hidden agenda. Now this is the insecure, and we're going to talk about that next week. I have to keep a track of my time so I don't keep you guys too long. So the secure person is self-driven. They're self-motivated. They don't try to impress. They like, hey, what you see is what you get. I'm capable of love. And not only that, I'm capable of loving you. That's the secure relationship. The dangers of being with someone that's insecure in the relationship or an insecure person is they bring you into their manipulation or their hidden agenda. You become a part of that. The secure person is free from the need to manipulate, and they're free from hidden agendas. You don't have to worry about where you stand in a relationship with a secure person, because they're going to tell you. And not only that, they're going to solicit information from you. They're going to say, okay, well, just start talking. Just tell me how you feel. Tell me, like, even if you're mad, I can accept that, because at that time, it gives me the opportunity. It give us an environment to talk. That's the secure person. The secure person in a relationship. Now, this is helpful for young people. The secure person in a relationship is genuine and they're honest. Now, with young people, you have to train them how not to be rude or disrespectful. They're able to express their feelings. The secure person is able to express their feelings and their thoughts, and they embrace disagreements. and they see it as an opportunity for growth and open communication. A lot of people are not used to people like that. They're used to people disagreeing and being confrontational. The secure person is not necessarily confrontational, but they're conflict focused. This is the person that's always saying, hey, if you're in a relationship, this is the person that always saying, hey, can we talk about it? At least if we talk about it, I know how you feel and we can fix it. That's a secure person in a relationship. They're able to express their thoughts and their feelings confidently. A lot of people, especially parents cannot handle children who can express themselves with confidence. But that's today's generation of people. They're not worried about necessarily how you feel about it. They just want some communication. And I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to explain that more. The confident or the secure relationship, the person who's secure in their relationship, they're able to discuss disagreements, and it's no hurt, no harm. And as I stated, they welcome it. They see it as an opportunity of growth. And an example of that may be, say, if you at work and you in a conference call or whatever, or you may get an evaluation. The person who's secure about themselves, secure in a relationship, they see a bad mark as an opportunity to grow. And they may ask for further explanation. Like, can you, and this is what annoys people about the person who's in a secure relationship. They ask questions. They say, okay, well, can you give me an example of when I did this? Not in a disrespectful way, because there is a disrespectful way to do that. Can you give me an opportunity of when I have done that so I know not how to do it again? Or can you teach me to do it a different way? This person is not confrontational. So the person who's in a secure relationship, hey Crystal, they're not mean. They're not trying to be rude. They're just confident in what they do. They like open dialogue. They like to talk about problems. And you may not be that person. You may not be the secure person in the relationship. You may be in a relationship with someone who's secure about themselves. And there are actually 4 relationship styles. If you are, and we're going to talk about this, if you are the avoidant person, then naturally you see the conflict, right? So you have this person who is a secure person in a relationship, and then you have the avoidant person. This is the person that don't embrace conflict. They don't want to talk about problems. If you disagree with them, and we're going to talk about this more next week, this person fears rejection, that if I don't say the right thing, then you're going to reject me, and I'm going to be sad, depressed, and all the negative emotions that come along with that. So, but if you're the secure person, one of the things, the characteristics about the secure person is the secure person try to help the other person to understand. The secure person is also a very influential person. They can talk to almost anybody. They can get people, and let me say this again. There's a difference between being manipulative and being influential. The secure person is influential. They could talk to anyone about any problem. And they're the person, well, I understand how you could feel that way. But the secure person is going to have a but. They're going to say, okay, but I acknowledge your feelings. I'm going to validate your feelings. But I also need you to understand where I'm coming from. And they're not, what's the word I want to use? They don't back down from that. That's just a part of their personality. They're a secure person. The secure person in a relationship. So we talked about they embrace disagreement as an experience to learn. They're not pushovers, because the secure person knows when to turn up and they know when to turn down. They're able to regulate their feelings. The secure person in a relationship. They don't hide their feelings, because people who are insecure in relationships are also insecure about themselves, which is like a natural, right? Kind of like common sense. So when a person is insecure in a relationship, it breeds anger, and anger can be a good thing and a bad thing. Anxiety, depression, self-contempt, feeling bad about yourself. And this is what self-contempt looks like. Well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I need to lose some weight. Well, if you had said that, if you didn't say that, if you never confronted him, then he wouldn't be feeling. That's self-contempt. Self-contempt is really having a sense of dislike for yourself. That's self-contempt. But it's stronger than dislike. The insecure person in a relationship often, and this is one, we talked about button pushing, right? This is one of my button pushers. The insecure person in a relationship is often passive aggressive. Instead of being assertive, they may, say, for instance, the passive aggressive person may say, you may say, well, honey, I thought you was gonna take me to the mall today. This is the passive aggressive person. Won't you get your best friend to take you to the mall? That's who you was hanging out with all day yesterday. Because when I tried it, when I was talking to you about it, you was on the phone with your best friend. That is an insecure relationship, an insecure person. On the other hand, the secure, same situation. The secure person, same situation, people. The secure person may say, same thing, but the secure person, they say, you know, yesterday when I was talking about taking you to the mall, I felt like you didn't want to go because every time I tried to talk to you, you was on the phone with your best friend. You didn't take the time for me. And really, I don't like it when you do that. So all I ask you to do is when you're on the phone with your best friend, just ask her to hold on or something like that. Then let me know if you're ready to go to the mall. The secure person confronts the situation. They'll tell, this is what I absolutely love about the secure person. The secure person will tell you what the problem is. Not only that, they'll give you a solution or a suggestion. That's the secure person. You know, with children, you know, I really don't like it when you say stuff like that to me. I'm your mom, and this is what you should have said. That's the secure person. And people are often intimidated. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. If you, and you know, right now, our country is in a crisis, right? And being a person of color kind of makes you stick out like a sore thumb. If you are and my friends, y'all know me, right? What you see is what you get, and I love you for it. If you are an African American female and you are a secure person, you're going to have problems on the job because people are not going to know how to handle you. You're the type of person, you say what it is. Okay, this is what we're dealing with right now. You stole the coffee out the coffee room. That's the secure person. Now, what do we need to do to fix it? And the secure person, they'll walk out of that meeting and there's no hurt, no harm. That's a secure person in a secure relationship. So the avoidant people, ambivalent people, they have to get used to secure people, because their confidence can often be mistaken as arrogance or being rude or not being personable. The secure person also embraces anger. We talked about this last week. They embrace their anger. They realize that it's a demand for change. The secure person. They say, okay, we can't let this happen again. What we need, there are the people that call the family meetings, the secure person, or the meeting on the job. You absolutely are. Troy. So the secure person desires change. If there's a problem, they go into fix it mode right away. For one, because they don't want to damage their relationship, no matter what type of relationship it is. They see the value in people. They're problem solvers. The secure person in a relationship. They're not pushovers, and don't get the two twisted. The secure person, they validate other people's feelings. They say, hey, you know, I understand how what I said could have offended you or how it may have been taken the wrong way. However, that's not what I meant. And I'm glad that you came to me to say something so we can get it cleared up. That's the secure person. We talked about this last week. The secure person, anger set boundaries with them. You see this on the job all the time. And now that we're doing this, maybe you'll become more aware. It's certain, and not out of fear. Managers do this a lot. Supervisors and managers. They know which button to push, kind of like parents. Parents do it too. When you're in a healthy relationship with your children, you allow the anger to set boundaries. It's like, ooh, can't do that no more. And it's not that you are a pushover. It's that you are welcome. It's that you value the relationship. I remember my daughter was probably about 16, and she probably gonna, and I'm getting ready to wrap up. She probably was about 16 years old, and I said something to her. I do not know what I said, but she went in the room and slammed the door and put a huge hole in the wall. And at the time, I went in my room. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I said to her, but I cannot do that anymore. I cannot push her buttons like that anymore. So secure people allow your anger to set boundaries. You use your anger to express concern. Okay, well, I understand you're upset, but I don't understand, like, why you had to destroy the house. Just sit down and tell me why you had to punch a hole in the wall. What made you so angry that you thought it was cool to punch a hole in the wall? That's what secure people do. Secure people in a secure relationship, you don't walk around on eggshells in the home. You confront the situation with your children, with your spouse. And confrontation is not, and when I say confrontation, I don't mean in a negative way. You have a talk. Instead of using anger in a negative way, secure people use it as an open dialogue, as a way to open up communication, get to learn something else about the other person. These are secure people in relationships. When you're in a relationship with your significant other and they do something, women, we do this all the time. you know, your boo do something to get on your nerves. So what we do, we get all the way close to the passenger door and look out the window and don't say nothing. What's wrong? Nothing. What I do? Nothing. So the secure person says, well, you know what? I really don't like how you try to shame me in front of other people. That's one of my pet peeves, and I really would appreciate it if you didn't do that anymore. That's the secure person. Where does the secure person confidence come from? It comes from the fact that first they're confident in themselves and they are influencers. They influence other people. Not arrogance, because I know a lot of influential people who, grandmothers, just so all of us can relate, right? Grandmothers are some of the most influential people that there are in the world. You could mess up and grandmama would sit you down and she'd say, now baby, you know you was wrong, right? And you made grandmama mad. Now, I don't like it when you do that. So basically grandmama is checking you and saying, I don't need you to do that again. But she's doing it in a respectful way. So influence. And she's not just like that with you. She's like that with everybody in the family. Big mama. That's why when big mamas pass away, the family just fall apart. Because that's a different story. So, how effective you are in relationships builds your confidence. It makes you an insecure person or an insecure person. The confident or the secure person in a relationship, they respect the feelings of other people. They may not agree with it, but they're definitely going to respect it. They understand the difference. They understand the concept of, I'm going to respect you because I want you to respect me. They create the boundaries. They set the tone of how they are to be treated. The person in a secure relationship, the secure person, the secure relationship style person, they set the tone on how you're going to treat me. And it's not being rude, it's not being arrogant or avoidant. They validate the feelings of other people. Well, I understand why you feel that way. And I am so glad that you came to me and said something, because this is just an example, because I kind of thought I might have said something wrong by the way you looked at me, but I wasn't sure. But I'm glad that you came to me so we could get this straightened out. That's the secure style relationship. They want to talk about, if you're married or dating this person, they want to talk about everything under the moon. Let's talk. What happened? Oh, you mad? Okay, well, let's talk about it. Because it gives them the opportunity to fix the problem. To say, not necessarily fix the problem. It gives them the opportunity to meet you halfway. We talked about reconciliation. It puts them, this person is a reconciler. But as I stated before, it takes two to reconcile. You can't reconcile by yourself. So the secure person in a relationship does not shut down. If you say something to them, and this is what I love about young people. Young people, you guys did a great job of raising your young people, because today they are turning the world upside down in a good way. You can't just tell them anything and let it be. The secure person in relationships, they want to talk. They're problem solvers. They're reconcilers. They're powerful influencers, not only in their own families, but in the community. The secure person in a relationship. So they don't shut down. This is what I was saying. When there's a disagreement, they don't, they're really borderline debaters. That's what they are, borderline debaters. They want to know the why of everything. Well, why you feel that way? Did I say that? Okay, well, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. This is what I meant. That's the secure person. And like I said, everybody cannot handle that person. Everyone. This is a good example. Everyone heard of power couples? Because power couples, they're secure in their relationship. It's not just about money. Because I know, that's why you're single. Power couples are the movers and shakers. They're the problem solvers. They see conflict. They like conflict. They're like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, what you got for me now? Power couples. That's why they call them power couples. Not necessarily because of the money, but their ability to resolve conflict and to deal with their own emotions. Whatever range of emotions that is. They don't cover up their emotions. They're going to let you know where they stand, but they're going to do it in a respectful way. Oh, this is a good one. People in secure relationships, they respect what you say. Listen, as long as it's dealing with reality and it's valid, they're going to respect what you say. So that's one of the key points that don't make them pushovers. And they're not easily manipulated. The person that has a secure style relationship. So they'll respect what you have to say as long as it's dealing with reality and it's valid. All right. Secure people are good communicators. We learned that by now, right? As I stated earlier, these are the people that call the family meetings. And they want to engage in the relationship, in the conversation. They lean into a challenge. Secure people embrace challenges in a relationship and they're willing to take risk. And they see the risk as an opportunity to grow. Even if it's saying, you know what? This is not going to work out. So I really think it's best that we go our separate ways. Even if it's that. Because some people don't have the courage to do that. Thank you. So they don't avoid conflict. They lean into it. Let me clear this up. There are some people who are comfortable with chaotic relationships. We're talking apples and oranges. Some people are confident with being in a relationship where you're cussing and fussing and fighting each other sun up to sundown. That's a chaotic relationship. Dysfunctional. Some people are accustomed to that. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But there's a difference between a person who's secure and a person who like chaos. That's a totally different thing too. The confident person or the person with the secure style relationship, they don't keep silent to keep the peace. They're like, look, we're going to talk about this and we're going to talk about it right now. They're the people that wake you up 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, we need to talk. Because they already done thought about it all day. The confident person, anger, we talked about this last week. The confident person, their anger is different. They have a different motive behind their anger. Like, you could be angry and then it turns to a good anger. That's a process. But secure people who have a secure style relationship, their relationship with themselves is secure, and so that's what they display in other relationships. This person looks at anger in a different way. Like I said, they look at it as a demand for change, and it brings hope. They say, okay, we got to fix this somehow. I don't know how we're going to fix it, but let's start out by talking about it. Their anger leads to hope. The person in the secure relationship, this is how you know you have a person in a secure relationship, or maybe your boss is that person. They're the person who says, okay, this made me mad, and they really need to know. So, and not in a disrespectful way. They don't do it in a disrespectful or a rude way. And matter of fact, they use humor a lot of times. They use humor a lot. This is a saying that I read today. Anger arises out of hope, fuels adaptive conflict. Anger that arises out of hope. I said that wrong. Anger arises out of hope, but it fuels adaptive conflict. So, what is adaptive conflict? If you are in a relationship with someone, I had a preacher to say this. He used to say this all the time. He said, if there is more than 2 people in a room, you're going to have conflict, because you're going to want the chair this way and they want it that way. So, if you're in a relationship with someone, no matter who it is, but specifically your significant other, husband or wife, you're going to have conflict. It's no ifs, ands, family. You're going to have conflicts with your family. But it should be adaptive conflict. Like, I know with my mom, right? I already know. And I'm quite sure everybody feel this way about their mother. So you know your mother's the same way. It's just certain things that I could say to other family members that I know I cannot say to my mom. And I'm not talking about anything cursing or I just know, because it's going to create conflict. So that is adaptive conflict. Able to adapt after a conflict, to make adaptations, to compromise, and I'm gonna say this, reasonable compromise, to make reasonable changes. That's adaptive conflict. Same way, like if you driving in your car. I'm a small, petite person. And if someone big gets in my car, it's a conflict. It's conflicting with their body size. So they have to become adaptive to my car. It's the same way with being in a relationship. Because really, that's the only way you're going to survive. You have to be an adaptive person. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't say, well, you know what? He don't eat meat, so I don't think I could be with nobody that, don't. I saw this on 90 Days to Wed. The girlfriend, the fiance, didn't want to get married because the man ate steak and she was a vegetarian. That's where you have to make, if you really care about the person and you're willing to go in it, be in it for the long haul, that's when you have to develop the adaptive conflict characteristic. There's certain things you just have to change. So anger, if it's used the right way, it should give you hope. And so, you know what? This is the secure person in a relationship. And you're not going to be, we talked about prognosis and diagnosis, right? And I'm using it in a non-clinical sense. So your prognosis, your diagnosis may be anger, forgiveness, inflexibility. That may be your diagnosis. Things that they do to push their buttons. Okay, doctor, what's my prognosis? How can we change this? How can we get on the road to recovery, particularly with anger? Because people like to, and I talk about anger all the time because, first of all, it's such a common emotion and everyone can relate to it. In relationships, with your family, with your boyfriend, on the job, whoever. Okay, how can I change my diet? What's my prognosis? How can I change this? How can I get on the road to recovery? How can I do that? And we talked about playbooks. Creating a new norm. Okay, I am not going to let this upset me anymore, especially when you have children. So, prognosis, diagnosis, and prognosis. And I'm using this more so in a life sense, not a clinical sense. Not able to trust people. Especially now, during the pandemic, everybody is ready to get out the house. How do your diagnosis is I can't trust. You can't have a secure relationship if you don't trust people. You can't. Okay, what's my prognosis? How do I get on the road to recovery? What would happen if I stay like, prognosis is also, it's a good and bad thing. What would happen if I stay like this? With people who, I was talking to my best friend, we laugh and joke about this all the time. How some people, they go years without speaking to their family members. Okay, what would happen if I continue down that road? It's going to be 5 more years. And do you really want that? So prognosis also is a good thing. Okay, tell me what I do. Because a lot of people just don't know. They just don't know how. People have been stuck for so long. They don't know how to get out. So you need someone to coach you or to talk to you on like, how do I get unstuck? And so that's where you receive your prognosis. So we are finished. So I don't want to keep you guys too long. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I appreciate the messages, the inboxing me, letting me know how much these and I understand that what we talk about is sensitive information that people just don't want to put their business out there. So I get people to inbox me and let me know how what I'm sharing is encouraging to them. And that's what I want to do. Because you remember I said that's going to be my new norm. I'm the information, the same thing I do professionally, I want to be able to do, and I love what I do. But I want to be able to do it for people who don't have access to the services that I provide and other mental health professionals provide. So, secure relationships. So that may be that's your diagnosis. You're in a secure relationship. What is your prognosis? Keep it going. Hold on to forgiveness. Talk to other people. Teach them. Be that person that other people can come to and talk to. Now, I see one of I'm gonna tell you guys of a relationship that I think is a good example for people. And not to say that I'm not stupid or naive. I know people have their problems. But I see Miss Knighton on here. Good. I mean, like, you could just see it. Like, that they are secure. You know, as being a mental health therapist, we be like, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is their problem. So we see it readily. So be an influence to other people, you know, and I know that you are. I know that you guys do, which is beautiful. So we're going to wrap up. Thank you again. Like and share. If you have a young person that needs to learn about secure relationships, avoidant relationships, ambivalent relationships, share this with them. Share it with them. Thank you guys once again. Like and share, and y'all have a great and blessed day.